Hi everyone. I thought I'd do a little podcast today about the prison canteen. Now, this isn't somewhere where you'd go and take your tray of food and go and sit down with people. The prison canteen basically is the shop in prison where you can go and buy toiletries and sweets and chocolate, that sort of thing. It's not a physical shop. It was when I first started going to prison back in the late 99s and sort of 2000s. A lot of prisons had a physical shop that you would go to. Basically, take your pillowcase, pick out the items on the, from the little tuck shop sort of thing. You'd fill up a pillowcase and then go back to your cell. But obviously, that's really risky. I witnessed, people getting bullied. I got bullied myself out of stuff. So what they started doing then after that was they started bringing it to your door. So you'd basically get a sheet put under your door, and then you'd tick out all the items that you wanted, adding up to the value of money that you have. And then they'd get delivered to your door like a few days later. So, just looking through the prison rulebook actually, looking at the amounts you can actually spend on your canteen. So, I'm just going to read this sort of verbatim from the rulebook. So it says here: your money, main points. Your friends or people in your family can send you money while you're in prison. This money is called private cash. The money cannot come straight to you. It will be kept for you by the prison. You don't take any change into the prison. It's all kept for you. You can spend the money. You can spend the money. How much money you can spend depends on how well you behave in prison. So this is the different regimes. So, for example, if you're a convicted prisoner, you'll be able to spend either £4, £15, or £22.50 a week. This depends on how good your behaviour is. So £4 is basically basic. That's the basic regime. Imagine only being able to spend £4. That's not a lot of money to be able to get stuff. £15.50 would be the normal rate. So that's what you can normally spend in prison. And then if you're an enhanced prisoner, if you behave yourself and sort of do everything you're supposed to, then you can get £25.50 a week. So that's okay for a prisoner. You can get pretty much everything you need. If you're unconvicted, you get to spend a little bit more. So you can spend either £22, £47.50 a week, or £51 a week, depending on your behaviour. Obviously, being unconvicted, you haven't been convicted of a crime yet. You're still on bail, or you're not on bail. Sorry, you're on remand, or you're waiting for sentencing, that sort of thing. So they allow you to spend a little bit more. But being on basic, imagine only being able to spend £4 a week. It's tough enough as it is. Now, I remember when I first went in prison, because obviously the prison wages, I didn't have many family ties, or no friends were sending money in to me when I was first in prison. So, you'd get paid basically like £7 a week, £7.50 a week, something for shitty work you'd be doing, and then you try and spend that as best you could to obviously get everything you needed. Now, the prison will give you a number of items. So, if you're really on your ass, they'll give you a toothbrush. They'll give you you get prison toothpaste. A lot of inmates just use the prison toothpaste to sort of put posters up on the wall. It sounds bizarre, but toothpaste works as a really good kind of almost a sticky blue tack or a glue, that sort of thing. Once you can actually put a lot of shit up on the wall with toothpaste, and the prison will also give you some soap, so you can get by. Basically, it's not great stuff. Obviously, it's prison issue stuff. But if you're actually on your ass and you've got nothing else, then they will give you the basics. What I used to end up spending my money on, you get yourself a cheap little shower gel, you get yourself a bar of soap, you get yourself a pen and paper basically, and some stamps to write to the people on the outside. And then a lot of your money will be eaten up by that. Once you put a few quid on the phone as well. It used to buy phone cards back in the day when I started, but then it all got switched to sort of pin phones, and you put money on the phone rather than sort of carrying around phone cards like you used to. Especially if you smoke as well. Now, obviously, there's no smoking in prisons now, but they've started doing vapes or sticks and stuff. So if you've got a real smoking habit, then prison's going to be rough for you, because it was difficult. It was difficult enough with tobacco and things. So imagine trying to get your nicotine hit from the old vape stick. It's not going to do you much good. Let's have a look. canteen. I'm just going to have a quick read through the rule book, or the guidebook for prison. The prison shop is also called the canteen. You can buy things in the shop each week like tobacco, batteries, sweets, toiletries, things like toothbrushes and deodorant, blah, blah, blah. Shops in each prison will have different things. If you need anything like something special, like for your skin or hair, then ask the shop and they can order it for you. And they can also tell you to fuck off. You may be allowed to buy things from some companies by mail order. This is when companies send you what you've bought in prison. Yeah. And ask prison staff information about this. All right, so what you can do, basically, there'll be a number of catalogues that are floating around the wing, normally in the prison office or in the landing. It's normally an Argos catalogue. They used to have an M&M catalogue, so you could get all your sports stuff. What else did they have? They had something else where you could buy clothes. I can't remember. But yeah, so basically there'll be a couple of catalogues on the wing, and you can fill out a catalogue form and then basically give it to the canteen staff. And they will go out and order stuff from outside for you, and then it will come in. So yeah, a lot of stuff from Argos, like what can you get, like shavers, like a beard trimmer. You can get a little alarm clock for your cell, that sort of stuff. There's not a great deal. You can get a stereo, but it has to be under a certain wattage. You can't have it too loud. I managed to get my stereo in before the loudness. Before the loudness test, and I used to have quite a big pounding stereo in my cell. I used to have 2 big speakers and a little CD player and things. It's complete overkill for my cell. I used to light up half the wing with my music. But yeah, they made it so you can only buy small stereos now. So yeah, that's basically the rule book for the prison canteen. Now, the items you can get, everything's quite overpriced because it all comes from a cash and carry. So a lot of it is happy shopper stuff, or you get some name brand things, but it's all quite expensive. And again, when you're working on a £25 budget at best, you're not going to be spending out on lots of name brands and things. But what you will try and get is get as many things as you can. You see people gambling for stuff. So gambling in prison is quite popular. It's a good pastime. But what you'll see is a lot of people in some cells where they're trading items and gambling, and you might be selling drugs or something. When the staff go into the cell, there'll be loads of toiletries on the side. There'll be loads of sweets and food and things like this. Sometimes the tables will be covered in food and tins of tuna, things like this. Anything that's a high value item in prison can then be traded for other things. So I used to run a prison shop in prison. So basically what I did is, over time you just spend money. So I bought loads of chocolate, I bought loads of sort of protein powders and tuna, things like this, tobacco as well. And whenever anybody needed anything, so midweek, if they'd missed it on their canteen, or if they're, say like we've got at the moment, we've got the Euros on, people would be gambling on the football, we'd be doing sweepstakes, you'd be doing sort of, how many goals and wins and losses and that sort of stuff. So we'd be all betting on chocolate. So a lot of the people who are running the gambling, they don't want to be doing tick. So what they'd do is people would come to me. They'd buy all the chocolate they need for their, they'd pick up all the chocolate they need for the gambling. They'd go off and they'd gamble, and then they'd come back to me once their canteen date comes around, and I'd give them a list of stuff that they'd need to buy for me. So it would either be just if they've got 3 chocolate bars, they'd have to give me 4 back. Or if, for example, they'd come and got like a tenner's worth of stuff off me over the week, then I'd ask for a tenner's worth of stuff back. But it'd be a tenner's worth of stuff that I'd need. So they'd basically be buying my canteen for me. So yeah, it was a lucrative little business, and I used to get by in prison because, like I say, some people don't have friends and family outside who are sending money in constantly, and I was in that boat, because I burnt a lot of my bridges while I was outside, so I didn't always have the support of people. And you'll find as well, when you're doing sort of longer sentences, in that first 6 months, a lot of people will be writing to you and sending you cash and things like this. But, once you're out of the community and once you're out of their lives, then suddenly those letters go from being, once a month to once every couple of months. And then basically you don't hear anything from anyone for about 6-7 months. And then as it starts getting towards the end of your sentence, into the last sort of 3 or 4 months again, then all your friends and family start writing to you again, like, oh yeah, it's good, you're going to be out soon. But yeah, thanks for that, guys. So yeah, you have to hustle in prison a little bit if you want to make some money sometimes. And if you can't dance, then you need to sell. So what you yeah, I always used to get by, but it can be very difficult in prison sometimes with the with, like I say, if you've got no friends or family. Now, I'll put some of the prison canteen sheets in the sort of pictures for this video, because again, it's worth Googling it as well, just to kind of have a look and see what items you can get on the prison canteen list. And again, these are all run by, like I say, a private company normally now. You'll have DHL or something running it, so it's not even the prison that kind of does the buying and selling of shit anymore. They used to. It used to be a member of staff. Literally, you'd have a member of staff sort of sat there buying things, and then they go down to the cash and carry and pick it all up. And you used to be able to write on the bottom of the canteen sheet, you know, because you used to physically sort of write it out, and you'd put on there sort of, you know, a couple of cans of Stella or something like this, and they'd always put it back like out of stock, like. But yeah, now it's all been handed out to sort of DHL and all these kind of things. Now, I did benefit from that. So when I said to you before, like, you know, you can buy things from catalogs. So I bought myself a PlayStation one time, and I was waiting weeks for it to come, because generally, you know, you'd order it, it would go to the order place, and then it would be about a month or so before you'd actually get it. And I remember I was waiting about 6 weeks or something, and it still hadn't come. And I'd managed to order it just in kind of the handover time, so it was when the time that the prison stopped dealing with the canteen and they handed it over to DHL. So I think my order kind of got lost in the handover. So I grabbed the DHL guy as he was on the wing one day, and I just said, "Look, you know, I ordered the PlayStation 6 weeks ago. It hasn't turned up yet. Can you trace it and see what's going on?" And he basically just said to me, "Look," he goes, "Look, you know, someone's rejected a PlayStation this week. It's still sat in reception. You know, they ordered it, now they don't want it, so we're going to send it back. It's still sat up at reception." He goes, "Do you want it?" He goes, we can just transfer it over to you." Now, bearing in mind, they hadn't even taken the money out of my canteen yet, and I was just like, "Yeah, fair enough, no worries." So later on that week, the PlayStation got put onto my property list, and I sat there and I waited for the money to be taken out of my account, and it never did. So basically, matey must have got a refund for his PlayStation, and then they just put it onto my property list and gave it to me. So I waited another couple of weeks for them to take the money off me, but they never did. So I just spent, I think it was something like £130, something like that, and I ended up just spending it on computer games. But yeah, that was one of the few wins that I got out of the prison canteen system. It wasn't too bad. So yeah, not many prisons are happy with the canteen. Obviously, there isn't a great choice, and it can be overpriced. I remember the prison used to argue to us that you know, everything was the same price as it pretty much was on the outside. So what one of my friends did is they sent the canteen list out, and his missus sat there and price matched everything on Tesco's, and it turned out to be everything was like, you know, 10, 20, 30% more expensive in prison than it was on the outside. And it turns out that the prison actually sets the prices. So even though there's a private company outside running it, it's the prison who actually sets the prices in the prison. So yeah, there's always a feeling in the prison amongst the inmates that you're getting ripped off, and you are, basically. It is like going and getting your food shop from a corner shop, basically. So everything's kind of, you know, slightly more expensive than you'd expect to find in your Tesco supermarket. So yeah, canteen day, I'd always try and make the stuff last all week. So again, I think you used to get your canteen form, slip under the door, sort of Sunday lunchtime. You'd fill it out, you'd hand it back in. Now, if you don't hand it back in by sort of Sunday evening, then you don't get your canteen, basically. You have to have it. You have to have it in on time. You'd get it then on a different day each week. Some wings would get it like Tuesday, Wednesday. Others would maybe get it Monday evening, something like that, if you're lucky. But you'd normally have to wait a couple of days, and then they'd just come and drop it outside your cell before association. In between getting your evening meal and going out for association, you'd hear the wing orderlies running around the wing. They'd just dropping the fucking stuff outside your cell, and then the member of staff opens the door, kicks it in. You check quickly through the bag to make sure everything's there. Now, a lot of times there'll be wrong orders. They do try and sort of substitute stuff, similar to online ordering in sort of Tesco's and stuff. So, you know, you might order some batteries and they'll send you a bar of soap, you know, as a replacement, something like that. But yeah, so yeah, the prison canteen. It's not an amazing experience. It is overpriced. A lot of the time you won't have enough money. But yeah, thanks for listening. And I know obviously all my true fans are listening at the end here. So yeah, keep giving me ideas for what you want me to do. I've got a list for the next few videos. I read all of the comments, and obviously the people who have been watching the videos from the beginning. I see all your comments, and I love all your support. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone who takes the time to listen, comment, and message me. It's all appreciated, and I do love you all. Thank you very much. Cheers.